Hi, I'm back. This video is for a subby. Excuse my face. I noticed pregnancy messed up my skin. I'm just gonna say it. I had the best skin, and I have blotchy red skin. But anyways, that's fine. I'll deal with it. I was asked a question about finances and how much should someone put aside for this journey of being a single mother by choice. I cannot give you a number because somebody might be comfortable with 100,000, somebody might be comfortable with 20,000, somebody might be comfortable with 5,000. So it's what you're comfortable with. I really didn't have the money, hence cash money. I had credit, just to be honest. So I rolled with debt to have my baby. Here's the thing. Think about it and come up with a number that you're comfortable with spending. And that will guide your choice of how you want to go about this. My thing is the cheapest is the better, but it's also what you feel comfortable with. So instead of finding a big reproductive endocrinologist clinic, try to find a clinic with a small reproductive center. In Atlanta, I think it was the Feminist Woman Center, something to that effect. If you need to know that, I will tell you. But they had a small reproductive center. So, or a midwife that'll inseminate you, or an OBGYN that'll inseminate you, or a little clinic that'll inseminate you, because that's all on the low and the cheap. Also, depending on what state you're in, you can inseminate yourself. You can have the sperm. Northwest Cryobank will send sperm to your house without a doctor's note, depending on the state. Georgia, I don't think they'll do it because it's against the law. But other states, they will send the sperm to you. They will give you how to warm up the sperm. You can buy the insemination kit online and inseminate yourself. Okay, that's cheaper. And on the cheap, which is I've seen a lot of lesbian couples do online, is find somebody who's willing to give you the sperm, whether you sleep with them or whether they hand you over the sperm and you inseminate yourself. You can do that too. And I wouldn't pay for that. So that's like on the free. All you're really doing is marking your ovulation and paying for the insemination kits, right? And if you do that, make sure their testing's updated, like, they ain't got no STDs, they ain't got no HIV or whatever. You don't want nothing on the back end. So I would make sure that they hit the doctor and get all their little tests, so you make sure they're good if you go that route. Now, the thing is, a lot of people want to do testing before they go this route because you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, and there's certain things that would hinder you from getting pregnant. Fine. So the only test that I didn't fail, because I failed all of them pretty much, was the HPG, histiopengogram. I'm saying it wrong, but basically what they're doing is putting dyes up in your fallopian tubes to seeing if your tubes are open, because if they're not open, then the eggs can't come down, right? And they actually have operation, I don't know if you call it, it's like a day thing, where they can open your tubes too. But if your health insurance doesn't cover that test is like $2,000. It's like, I say $1,500, $2,000. So anyways, the first order of business is to see what your health insurance covers, because you want it to cover whatever. See what your health insurance covers. Also, let's say you're switching health insurances, like let's say it's open enrollment. I would check out what the other health insurance covers. Like if you have the lower plan, see what the higher plan covers, because maybe you can switch or change. Also, if you do not have short-term disability, get short-term disability. Whether you got to pay for it yourself or you can get it through your job. A lot of people don't get it, but pregnancy and birth is considered a way to get paid through short-term disability. So they'll pay you for 6 weeks if you have regular birth, and they'll pay you for 8 weeks if you have a C-section. So if you don't have it, get it, and you cannot get it after you're pregnant. Okay, that's like pre-existing condition, and you can't get it after you're pregnant. So secondly, check out how much the daycares are in your area. Daycare is like the number one expense for, I guess, motherhood, single mother by choice. If you have to work and stuff, I would check that out. And my thing is price everything. You can also go to seminars of these reproductive endocrinologists or these small clinics. You know, I had went to like 5 or 6, I don't know what this word is on my face. Anyways, I had went to like 5 or 6 seminars, and then you can straight up ask them how much it costs. You know what I mean? And what's their protocol? What would they want you to do to even get started? Right? But I mean, if you're going to do the free, you can have your OBGYN do a lot of these tests too. So I know that's kind of broad, and I know I'm not really giving you numbers. My number, if you want to know that, was 10 grand. That's how much I was willing to put myself in debt. Granted, I was already in debt. So that's how much I was willing to put myself in additional debt to have a baby. And I think I hit 7 grand that I spent, and I did not end up with the baby that way. So that's another thing. When you set this money aside, you still might not have a baby by the end of spending this money. Knock on wood, you will, but you might not. Okay? And if you need a video, or you want me to tell you how I dealt with that journey and how the disappointments and what I did, let me know. But my cutoff was 10 grand. I couldn't fill 1,000. I couldn't afford 20. I could afford to put myself in an additional $10,000 worth of debt. And you have to make those judgments. And when you make those judgments, so let's say your debt ratio is 5 grand and your health insurance covers, right? I would max out whatever the health insurance covers. If the health insurance covers testing, then get out the freaking testing. But 5 grand is kind of on the low. So I might be looking for maybe that dude who wants to co-parent, or somebody that's willing to give you the sperm or whatever, which also opens up a can of worms with with custody and all this and that. You know, my situation, I think I'm fine. I don't know. Knocking on wood again. So far, I think I'm fine. But for you, I mean, you have to weigh all those options. And I'm no judge, because, you know, I started out at the reproductive place and I ended up getting sperm from somewhere else. So, and if you want to know more about that, let me know. But I really can't give you a number of the journey. But to me, I'm going to start on the cheap and work my way up. You know, granted, I started kind of in the middle because it was a cheaper place. But, you know, she convinced me to use the highest protocol, which made it 2 grand a time, right? Whereas if I had went with the lower protocol, the insemination was only $200. It was the medicine and the monitoring and all that increased the price, that led me to the close to 7 grand in the testing and stuff. So you really have to decide what your cutoff is and work around that. Any more questions? Feel free. Subscribe, like, comment, holla back.